All right, and it looks like we're ready to go. So let me share my screen with you. And I'm going to start right here at the beginning. So this is our, what we like to affectionately call the Online Teaching Hub. And it's a website that Jamie will put that in the chat for you. This is really where almost everything I show you today can be found right here. So this is the central website for all of the engagement that happens in the online teaching community with Open SUNY. I would bookmark that one and you'll have that to go. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour, and this is really kind of structured in 4 different areas. There are things that you can join or subscribe to. We have resources where you can volunteer to be a part of that. We have things that you can submit to show and share what you know and what you're doing on your campus. And we also have events to attend. And then there's a whole section of resources that I want to be sure that you're aware of within this site. So hang on tight. Here we go. One of the first things that you can do is to join this community, the online teaching community, as an Open SUNY Fellow. And the fellowship is really a network where online practitioners, primarily faculty and instructional designers, can gather together and be supported by the resources that we develop. So these are targeted to the different areas, the interest areas, and we really tried to represent all the different levels that people might be at when it comes to online teaching. So if you are just interested in online teaching and maybe haven't actually taught online before, you can join at the interested role here. If you're experienced, you've taught online before, you can join there. If you're an instructional designer, we have a role just for you. We have a role for advanced practitioners too. For example, if you have been doing this for quite some time in teaching online and you feel like you would like to coach and mentor someone who might be new, that would be a role that you could look at. And we also have folks who are our innovators or do online education research. And of course, if you are joining us from an institution that's not SUNY, we have a role just for you so that you can connect and engage in this community as well. So you would be looking at the Friend of SUNY role. So have a look around here and take a look and see if there's a role that applies to you that you would like to get connected with us. We'd love to have you do that. The other thing that you can do is take a look at the community of practice across SUNY as it exists today. This is a dynamic chart that's updated fairly frequently. I mean, I think it's every 2 weeks or so we process the files, but you can look up your particular campus. And when you click on your campus, it expands to show you the folks on your campus in those roles. And it links to their email address. So it's a way for you to network and connect with other expert IDs, with other coaches or mentors, or if you're a new person and you want to find a coach or mentor at your campus, you can open that up and see if somebody is there. So it's a nice way for you to kind of network and connect in that way. The other companion site that we have is the online teaching networking site, and this is where more of the interaction happens. We have groups that are structured around different topic areas, and we also promote our events through here. This is public, so people who are not part of SUNY can certainly create a profile here and join up that way. You can see down here some of the member profiles. Today's event is listed here. We have some other events coming up, some of which I'll be talking about today as well. And so this is just another way for us to network. So if you think about the site that I previously showed you, this is really where we have all of our resources, and it's a site you can come to and find things, but it's pretty static in the way that it doesn't actually connect or network you, right? But this community networking site is the place where you can engage with other people. There are forums, there are groups, you can lead a discussion, you can start a new discussion, or you can start a new forum and a group of your own based on a topic that you're interested in. So there's a lot to be able to do there as well. If you are a SUNY campus person, we have Workplace, which is the platform that we use to engage and interact. And there is an Open SUNY online teaching group in Workplace. And you can see I posted, some of you may have seen that, and that's how you joined today, I'm not sure. But You can see that there are posts. It's powered by Facebook, but it is not public like your regular Facebook would be. It's internal to SUNY. And so this online teaching group, we have articles that people post, there are discussions, there are files, there are events. We post photos and videos from some of our events on here as well. And you can take a look. We have over 600 members. You can search for folks there. You can also use this link here to send an invitation to someone on your campus. If you are part of this group and you want to encourage others to join, you can do that here as well. So those are some of the platforms where we communicate and share things with you. And so now I'm going to kind of get a little bit deeper into some of the tools and resources that we have for you. I'll take a look over here real quick in the chat just to make sure I'm not missing any questions. I don't know if it'll let me. Let's see. Okay, looks like I can't pop out while I'm sharing. So I will come back to, yes?
It looks like people are just wondering if they can post to Workplace about an event and share that with the group.
Yes, absolutely. So in Workplace, if you have, if you are in this group up here, you can, right here, you can just create your own event. It's just a post, so you can do that there. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the moderators are the ones that can create the events. So if you want it to show up as an actual event, like on this event page here, you can, and you are unable to do that, you can certainly send that to myself, to Willow, or to Alex, and the three of us are able to create those kinds of things. Otherwise, you can just create it as an actual post. So there are a couple ways to do that. Were there other questions to address right now?
Nope, that's all right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we produce on a monthly basis the Online Teaching Gazette. And this is a curated publication, a digital publication of news and research and reports all throughout higher education that relate to online teaching and learning. This is the current edition here. And if you enter your email address to subscribe, you will get a monthly digest every time this is published. So this is published on the 1st of every month. That's the only time you'll get a communication from the Gazette, is when it's published on that date. So this is something that I have heard a lot of feedback from, that folks on campuses do enjoy seeing some of their articles that they've been in. We always try to showcase things that are from our community, but we also try to showcase things that are going on globally and regionally, so that you are kept aware of all of the insights going on in higher education as it relates to online teaching. So you can feel free to take a look at the Open SUNY Online Teaching Gazette. We also, on our main website there on the Hub portal, we have a blog. So this is the same site I showed you at the beginning. I just scrolled down a little bit. And we have blogs that are posted regularly, and these are just some highlights here. Whenever we have an event, we'll post that. So for National Distance Learning Week, we held some webinars, and this is a recap of those with access to the recordings and slides. We also invite people from our community to be guest authors on the blog, and that might be a way that you would like to engage with us. Maybe you have something that you would like to write a post about. You could just reach out and let us know that. And so we are featuring here Scott Mandia and his blog post on creating the lab course in the online environment, which is always a challenge, right? And then underneath those posts, you can just use the scroll bar to go over and read any other blogs. Here's one by one of our online teaching ambassadors, Jennifer Schloming from FIT, and she talks about prettying up and fancying up your online course. Then we have some about OER. So you can see that there are a lot of different varied topics. So we have this blog, and this is great for reading, but it's also great for you to engage and be able to share what you know in that way with the community. So one of the roles that I showed you was a coach and mentor. And so we do have an informal mentoring program where we try to match up people when there is a need. And if you are interested in being a mentor, there's a volunteer button here where you can complete just a quick form that asks about the areas that you are interested in mentoring. If you would like to mentor folks in your discipline, folks outside of your discipline, and it talks about a little bit what your availability might be. So if you are interested in mentoring, I would encourage you to check this page out for more information. In addition to mentoring, we have a course reviewer network. Many of you may be familiar with the Oscar course review rubric, which I'll show you in a few minutes under some other resources, but this kind of developed out of that. So we certified people if they went through the Oscar training. There are other folks in our community who have had other kinds of course review training, quality course review. So it may be QM, it may be some other sort of certification. So we've gathered together those folks, and there may be more out there. If you would like to be part of this and you have course reviewer experience, there's a form link right here that you can complete. But this page is a way for you to find someone who would be willing to do a course review for you. And so I'll just pick Carol here. If I open Carol up, it gives you her email contact. She talks about her primary discipline and what courses she's willing to review. So she's willing to review courses in any discipline. And she talks a little bit here about her experience. She is a Merlot reviewer. So she's not an Oscar reviewer, but she's done reviews in a different capacity. So you can see that you can open this up and learn more about folks. If they're an Oscar reviewer, they'll have a badge here from us, like Maureen does in this case. This is organized not by campus, but by discipline, by academic area. So that's how you would search this. So if you're looking for someone who is a education person or to have an education course reviewed, you can look up this section and find somebody with that background. So that's our course reviewer network. And of course, generically speaking, there are lots of other ways to volunteer that I may not really kind of target today. I'm just highlighting some of our popular ones, and there may be an area of interest that you have some expertise in and that you would love to be on a work team or a project committee for Open SUNY. And so you can certainly come here and click volunteer and let us know where your expertise lies, and we maintain that pool of volunteers and call upon them whenever we have a need. So if we're putting together a work group or a task group on badging and you have badging experience, we would reach out to you to ask, would you like to be a part of this, this committee that's looking at badging for Open SUNY, for example. Okay, I have some things to showcase now that are ways that you can submit some of the things that you're doing on your campus and the things that you know. So before I do that, I want to pause for any questions.
There are currently no questions in the chat.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll open that up broadly afterwards. So this one is one of my favorites, and it's actually in progress right now. The SUNY Effective Online Practices Award Program happens annually. We generally open entries around December, just before the holidays, and traditionally the program focused on online teaching and learning practices, and as SUNY has expanded, we've expanded the tracks, the program tracks as well. So now you can see that we accept submissions in online teaching and learning, in online course quality practices, in online student services, perhaps concierge on your campus, in online enrollment and recruitment, and also program partnerships, because we want to highlight the models of multi-campus and inter-campus connections that happen as well. So these are the 5 areas where we accept submissions. The submissions are closed right now, so where it says submit your effective practice, you can go and do that, but it would be for the next round. So round 6 is closed right now and voting is open. And the way voting occurs is we have a public Facebook group where all of the entries are posted, and these are voted on by their peers. So Open SUNY does not decide the winners of the award, the peer voting does, and those who attain the most votes or likes in the Facebook platform are are announced at the SUNY Online Summit at the end of February. And so that's coming up. And then we have a partnership with the University of Central Florida. They maintain a teaching online pedagogical repository, or just Topper. And Topper is an international repository of online teaching best practices. And so anyone who submits to the SUNY Effective Online Practice Award Program is encouraged to also submit to Topper. And we've actually aligned our intake forms to match so that it's a pretty seamless process. And then Topper has a board that reviews those proposals and considers them for inclusion in their repository. And we have several SUNY entries in Topper that I'm happy to say. Those who also submit to the Effective Practice Award are invited to our conference in May called the SUNY Conference on Instructional Technology, CIT. And that is a chance for them to be able to do a poster session or a presentation on their effective practice. So you can see this is a pretty comprehensive program. There are past winners listed here if you're interested in going to learn more about them, and the entries that they did. So this is round 6. We've been doing this for quite some time, and it's a lot of fun. So if you come to this page, you can get to the peer voting right from there. Anyone on this call is able to vote. You don't have to be a SUNY employee or from a SUNY campus institution at all to vote. It's just public voting. So feel free to do that. That closes next Friday. Another way that you can engage in our community is through the Fellow Chat series. These are showcase webinars where really we feature our Open SUNY Fellows and their work. And this is a way for us to be able to network and help you elevate what you know and share that across the campuses, but it's also advertised through the Open SUNY Twitter. It's something that many different kinds of people attend from all over the globe. So we are still accepting proposals for our 2020 season, so you can feel free to click a link there and submit a proposal, and you can look at past chats here. We have just little kind of galleries for each year, for each season. And you can take a look at the folks there. Some of them actually even have groups in our networking community that they started and around their topic of their chat. So there could be some opportunity there for discussion. You can also get the chat recap, which is a document that contains the slides and it contains the recording so that you can take a look back over those. So these chats are always here. We have not, rotated any of them off. We're continuously accepting proposals. So if you know someone in the community or you yourself are interested, you can submit a proposal for the fellow chats. And another recognition program, this one is internal to SUNY. This is where we look at those folks on our campuses who are really the champions and the cheerleaders for online teaching and learning. And these are nominated, ambassadors are nominated by our instructional designers on the campuses. And this happens in November of each year. And those ambassadors are recognized also annually in February at the online teaching or the SUNY Online Summit. So this is the page that's about the program, but I wanted to share with you our 2020 cohort of ambassadors so you can see that they have a sidebar here, and when you click on one of their images, it takes you to their personal web page so that you can learn a little bit more about them and what they do on their campus. And it sort of created another network for us. And so you can view past cohorts here by campus. If you want to see who from Buffalo State has ever been an ambassador, you can come here and see that. You click on their name and you can read about them on their individual web pages. So this is a great space. Another way to connect with people across SUNY is by this ambassador program. And then we also have online courses for observation. As folks are coming on board and maybe on your campus they are new to teaching online, sometimes it's really helpful to see a course and see how others have laid their courses out. And so we have collected these exemplary courses from our campuses. We do accept nominations each year from instructional designers on courses that they believe are of this quality that would be great models for anyone starting out and designing a new course. So there's some criteria here that you could go through before you nominate a course, but I thought I'd show you our exemplary courses. for observation. And so we highlight them in the different discipline areas, and we showcase who the instructor is. And you can click on it, of course, and it'll take you into the course. Now, the course is a copy, so there's not going to be any student data in the course or anything like that. So it's just to be able to see how someone manages their course, how they design their course. And it's a great way before you start to kind of have a sense of what that could look like. And there are many other ways that I'm not going to cover today. So this page, Share Your Enthusiasm, just has, it's designed for our teaching ambassadors, so how they can get engaged throughout the year that they are in their cohort, but anyone can use these as ways to engage in the community. So we accept, blog posts, we accept fellow chats, we accept video testimonials. A lot of folks like to do videos, and we house those on our YouTube channel. So there are a lot of potential ideas here for how you might want to engage in the community. So I'm going to be sharing with you next some of our events. I want to pause for any questions that Jamie might have seen in the chat.
Erin, the only question I've received was just someone in SUNY is wondering how we can request changes to the community of practice list.
Oh, absolutely. I would just go ahead and email me, and Jamie can pop my email in the chat, and I can take care of that for you. Willow maintains that list for us, so if you have Willow's email, you could do that as well, or I can get that forwarded on for you.
Okay, I'll get that email out.
Thank you. Yeah, we do have people who sometimes change roles or change campuses, and that gets tricky to keep up to date. So anytime you have a change, let me know. Or name changes too. That's another thing that we come across. All right, so I've mentioned a couple times the SUNY Online Summit. The SUNY Online Summit happens annually and has a 20-year history, 20-plus year history now of back to the SUNY Learning Network days. Of being a gathering place for online practitioners throughout SUNY. We also have Friends of SUNY who attend our summits, and these happen annually. On opposite years, they were either going to be held in Syracuse, New York, or at the SUNY Global Center in New York City, which is where it will be this year. And so this year, the summit is February 26th through 28th down in New York City. We do have a live stream, and we have recordings of all of our past summits for the past 10 years. So you can kind of come here to those summit websites, and you can go to the live stream and get the media links for past recordings. You can also see the programs, see who we've had in the past. We've had some terrific featured speakers and keynotes over the years. So if you are interested this year in tuning in virtually, you would come over here for the Summit 2020, and you can take a look at that. Day one is restricted to SUNY only, those presentations, and so there's access that's specific to SUNY, but day 2 and 3 are open to anyone to tune into. So feel free to join us for that virtually. We'd love to see you online. In addition to the summit, we also have, like I mentioned, the fellow chats. We do the events in the workplace group, and then the other thing that we host that there isn't a website for, but we host monthly community calls, and that's a way for us to connect and see each other more face to face, right? And less through web pages. And it's a way for us to connect around topics in teaching and learning online that are important and that the community actually requests. We do feature presentations from our community members on those monthly calls, and we also use that as a way to communicate important updates from SUNY system administration. So those are posted in the workplace group. That's how they're announced. So if you are a SUNY person, that is how you can access our monthly calls. So some of the resources that we've made available, I think you remember when I showed you the fellows list, there was an interested role, interested in online enabled education. And to meet the needs of those folks, we've created an interested in teaching online resource. This is really just a website, and it's self-paced. There are many ways that you can use this site, and if you're an instructional designer, this can be a resource that you give folks who are new, and they can work their way through this. There are modules here that are listed to figure out how to understand online teaching and learning, how it's different from face-to-face, and what the student experience is like. We talk about some effective practices for doing all of this, for managing your course, for facilitating accessibility. And in each module, there are just places for them to check their understanding, and they can also earn a badge through the completion of this course that's online. So you can have a little look at that. There's also a piece about readiness, right? It's not enough to be willing to teach online. We really want to know, are you ready to do that? And so this covers the basics, the competencies that folks need to be able to teach effectively online. You can also come in here to observe an online course. Those are our courses for observation that I mentioned earlier. We have a video here about the myths of teaching and learning online. We also talk about computer skills and word processing skills, and it's not just management of your course, right? There are all kinds of different skills that are needed. And all of these pictures that you see are videos from folks in our community talking about their experience in teaching online. And so this is a really dynamic resource that you can also use. All of these are available on our website. They're free and open to use. We've also developed a handbook. This is just a PDF. Whoa, that scrolled kind of quickly. About designing an online course and becoming an online educator. And I want to scroll down a little bit more gently, just to some of the table of contents here. This is, as you can see, it's a Creative Commons licensed document. So this is something that was developed in partnership with many of our institutions and has been revised over the years. And this is something that is useful for when you are starting to develop your online course. So you can see that there are some ways here, some best practices, some different online activities to get through. And this manual can actually be used as its own kind of course. Okay. So we talk about organizing, we talk about building the course, managing the course, all the way through. Another resource that helps you with building your course and reviewing your course. A lot of times we think about course quality review as something that has to happen at the end of the course development or teaching the course, but this rubric can also be used as something that helps guide you as you're creating the course as well, because it gives you the framework that really helps students be successful in an online class because of the layout. So OSCAR, as we affectionately call it, is our Open SUNY Course Quality Review rubric. And OSCAR has its own website. This is a companion to the OSCAR rubric, and this gives you all kinds of detailed information for each of the standards in the rubric. So this is a place where you can come to kind of get more in depth, and each of these has another video from someone in our community, as you can see here. And it talks about how they incorporate that piece in their course. If you're interested in actually looking at the rubric, there's a tab here for Get OSCAR, where you can put in your email and get the rubric itself so that you can take a look at it and you can see how it would work. We also have a playlist on our YouTube channel of all of the OSCAR rubric and the process, and also playlists for each and every standard in the rubric. So there's a video that's attached to each one. The other thing that we have built is a playlist for instructional designers on our Open SUNY YouTube channel. And this really helps people with the different areas that they may have, that they may be working on with their faculty. All of our playlists are related to the different activities that I've shared with you. So we have ambassadors who have recorded themselves about their passion for teaching online. We have our National Distance Learning Week series. We have our Fellow Chat series. We have videos from our summits. So any of the things that I've been sharing with you, there may be an associated video here. You can see effective practices. We have folks from there who are sharing advanced topics in online learning for those of you who've been doing this for quite some time. This is also not just a resource, but this is also a way that you can engage, because you may have something that you would like to share, and we would be happy to have you do a video of that as well. If you are attending the summit, every year at the summit we offer interviews so that we can capture some of the great things that people have to share on video. So you would just want to let us know if you're coming and if you're interested in doing that. But there are other ways too. We always take videos from folks who would like to submit those as well. So our YouTube playlists are pretty robust and they have a lot of great things there. These can all be embedded in your LMS as well. They can be embedded in different resources that you might want to share with your online teaching faculty. And we have a partnership with OLC for the Oscar rubric. And I just wanted to show you that page and you can take a look there. They also have some of their upcoming events. And just because of time, I don't want to spend too much on there. I would encourage you to take a look at joining our fellowship if you are interested. And the other thing that we like to do at the end of any of our webinars is offer you a community participant badge. There is a claim code that Jamie can put in the chat. And all you do is go to Credly. You do have to have a Credly account though to claim the digital badge. So if you do have that, you can come here to claim credit and just type in the code to be able to get your community participant badge. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I realize we are pretty close here on time. So if there is anyone who would like to ask any questions, or if I missed anything in the chat, Jamie, just let me know.
I don't believe there's anything that you've missed at this point. Looking good.
Okay, well, I'll hang out here for questions, but if anyone does need to go because of time, feel free. I really appreciate you joining us and finding your way to us with the webinar link, and we hope to see you at a future webinar. Thank you so much.